Thank you, Cathaoirleach. And firstly, I want to warmly welcome the Minister Oisin Smith. Not only is he a minister, but he's also happened to be my TD, or one of my TDs in my constituency, which I live. So you're particularly welcome. And I don't doubt your enormous commitment, and I don't doubt the enormous challenges of government. And I want to say at the very outset that I recognise the difficulties that the Minister for Finance and the Minister for Public Expenditure has, and I support them. And these are early days in government. And as I said, it's their prerogative to set out their national development plan. It is their prerogative to set out their plan for housing and agriculture and all the other areas that they cover. It is also their prerogative to set out their plan for healthcare. But where they are failing, they must be called out. And as I said today, and I've said 2 or 3 times in the Senate in recent days, the issue in terms of healthcare. And I know we haven't heard the full amount of it today, and I understand the Minister for Health will later be setting out the finances and the resources that he needs and requires, and he has secured in relation to addressing the enormous waiting lists. And we know that we have over 900,000 people waiting on our waiting lists. And I read out a list of them today, and I intend tomorrow, and every day I'm in the Senate, I will pick 10 hospitals and I'll read them into the record of this House until we see those numbers dropping. It is something that's really, really important. But I recognise, and I want to pay tribute to both ministers who do an exceptionally hard job. It's too easy to come in and be critical of people. I'm not going to criticise them. It's early days in government. They've set out their budget, they've set out their plans, they've set out their financial parameters. They have to operate them, but they also have to deliver on them, and I respect that too. Before I proceed, Leader, I just want to raise an issue with the House. Earlier on to the order of business today, there was a suggestion by members of the government, a particular senator, and I'm not naming any senator, but that some of the independents weren't represented during last night in relation to finance. That is not correct. Senator David Norris, who is also independent and in my group, arrived here and made a very, very successful contribution. And another one of my senators has asked to let it be known that she took sick and is currently in hospital. So we don't know people's personal circumstances, and it is unfair and not appropriate and not right to single out members who are not in the House when a debate is going on. But I hope that will be addressed tomorrow by the senator who raised it. But I want to put the record on the House as a member and leader of the Shannon Independent Group in the House. We were represented, or we endeavoured to be here. And if the members have an issue about attendance, and if the government have an issue about attendance in this House, call it out for what it is, let's have a debate. And if we have to have a roll call on the attendance on a daily basis, I'm happy to support that proposal. But I won't be challenged, and I won't be contradicted in terms of the membership. So I go back now to use the rest of my time.
Practice in the House is that people's absence is not referred to by anybody in the House. And
I'm glad that you clarified that. Thanks, Cathaoirleach. Just to go back then to the other issues in relation to healthcare. So there are challenges for healthcare, huge challenges for healthcare. There are huge challenges for housing for Ireland. And again, it is about the delivery of housing for our people, homes for our people. And that needs to be addressed. And in fairness, there is arrangements in the budget. I just want to say that I want to commend the government on this production. The budget in brief, it's a citizen's guide. I think it's excellent. Because one thing we've got to demystify the figures for people. And this is a really, really good document. Excellent, brilliant, more of them. And it is about engaging with our citizens about what it means to them. And again, it sets out the issues in relation to the key measures. I'm not going to comment on them. You know them, I know them. But let's see if they're delivered on. I think that's particularly important, and I want to acknowledge it. And perhaps these can be circulated or certainly online, but I think we see a lot of campaigns, a lot of money spent in advertising in our national press about a Government of Ireland initiative. This is a Government of Ireland initiative, and it should be promoted in the simple infographics that are set out here, Minister, and I'd ask you might bring that back to the department. In relation to the Department of Social Protection, I think they've given a really important point-by-point budget 2020 main points in the social welfare changes to the budget, and I commend that. And I think I've received 10 of them. All of my colleagues have received 10 of them from different people in the membership in the House. But I think it's an important document. And finally, I just want to wrap up by saying I genuinely wish the government well with our National Development Plan, with their plans for agriculture, with their plans for housing for all. I genuinely accept our early days yet in government. We have to address the financial situations. We have come out of COVID. We have had to deal with Brexit and will continue to face the many challenges that Brexit are out there. So I wish the government well in it, but I think it's also important in opposition that from time to time we call out where there are failures and we keep a focus and a spotlight on the challenges. Thank you, Minister.